Why do coworkers get mad if you keep to yourself and leave them alone? Attention-seeking people just like attention. And if you're not giving them attention, they think there's something wrong with you. So that's why you have a lot of conflict with those types of people. They can't understand why you're not giving them that type of attention. It could be trauma. You're stirring up trauma. Somebody didn't give them that type of attention. So when you don't give it to them, they don't know how to take it. They get upset. They feel insecure. You're triggering a childhood trauma wound. That's why therapy is important. Welcome back to the channel. Happy Wednesday. I hope you guys are having a fabulous day, whatever time you choose to watch this. I am still in love, very much so, still in love with my doors. Oh my gosh, it feels so good walking in here now, especially early in the morning. It's just a whole moment. It's just a vibe. So the last time I went to Home Goods, I picked up this bowl. Now, this is what I'm saying. My taste has kind of changed because in the past, this is something that I would have just kind of like looked over, but I'm paying a little bit more attention now to the things that I like. When I got this cutting board, I realized that the cutting board is huge. You know, it takes up a whole lot of space. Design-wise, it takes up a lot of space. I felt like you needed something to anchor it. So that's why I got this bowl. Yo, I had the sweetest dream last night. Oh my gosh, it was so sweet. I dreamt that I held my granddaughter. No one is expecting. But I had a dream that my son had a daughter and I was holding the baby. You know what I'm saying? And that felt so real, you know. And I woke up this morning just feeling like, just kind of feeling like, I don't know, I'm kind of ready for that chapter a little bit, you know, but I want my children to have children, but I want them to be ready to have kids. You know what I'm saying? It's time to make some breakfast. Okay, so really, I really need to get down here and clean and organize all of my pots and pans. Oh my gosh. Yo, they have this exhibit that's here in Atlanta called the serial killer exhibit. And I don't know about that, y'all. I don't know about going there. I thought it would be like something fun to go. I don't even know if fun is the right word to describe it. I thought maybe it was going to be a little interesting. So I was like, we should just kind of maybe take a field trip to the serial killer exhibit. Just retired from working out of a federal prison. I had to ask myself, are you doing this because this would be something that you're just used to doing? Or are you really interested in doing this? And the weird thing about it is that I'm used to that type of environment. And I had to tell myself, we're not doing that. And I don't even know why they have an exhibit for that anyways. Like, people really want to know about serial killers? Like, is it really that interesting? Like, okay, so you can't find the stuff online. Online isn't good enough. You got to be there. Like, you got to have like a exhibit. What? Just like the world is weird right now. Just like that. Girl, y'all, I shouldn't even be showing y'all this. I should not be showing y'all this right now. Because y'all going to be like, girl. I know, right? Don't judge. I don't really eat a lot of pork. But lately, I've been wanting some bacon. And I think that came from when I went to Epic Universe. And we had those club sandwiches. And then they had like the bacon. And then the tomato. I can't even talk. They had the tomato on there. Oh my gosh. I'm about to make this real quick. I don't want Hubs to see this really. Because he's going to want one. I didn't make enough for him. Don't stop believing. See, look at my roses. See? They're coming back already. The weather has been kind of nice. That's why. See, they're getting ready to start blooming, right? I got to get ready to kind of cut them back some. They kind of got kind of tall last year. So I'm going to cut them back a little bit. So the plan was to do that today, but I'm not going to do that right now. Yeah, it's getting ready to rain. I was thumbing through social media and I see that former NFL player Ronnell Whitaker dead at 46. And then just the other day, Rondell Moore passed away. Said that he took his own life. And there's somebody else, Martin Short, his daughter, also killed herself. What is going on? And those are just the three that I remember. It's been a lot going on lately with that I've been seeing, that a lot more people have been choosing to end their own lives, and that's pretty devastating, pretty concerning. Also, Martin Short's daughter, I believe, was a social worker. You know, I'm in therapy. You know that I used to work around inmates. And I used to work around inmates that had severe mental illnesses. People who have cluster B personality disorders, they just tend to clash with a lot of people, to include therapists. They can be some of the hardest people to be around. Sometimes trying to change and go to therapy is too much for them. It's too uncomfortable. So it's easier to just kind of fall back and be who they are, which means that they don't see a reason to change. For them to change, they feel as though it is more uncomfortable to change than it is to just be the same. It can be very frustrating to a psychologist, therapist, when you have somebody who is like this, that doesn't want to follow through with treatment and therapy. Therapy is actually maintenance. So it's the same thing like when you go to your doctor every year to get your exams, you're going to just kind of like see, you have a baseline of where your health is at. You're just trying to figure out like if you're good, like what's going on, that kind of thing. And so therapy is kind of like the same thing. You go, you talk to a therapist, you unpack a lot of things, and you have a baseline that you start out with. And then when something happens that is traumatic, you have this skill set that you can use to help you get through the situation that you're in. It's not to get over, it's not to get over it. It's not to get over a situation. It's to get through the situation, to help you get through it. It's one thing to be strong, but it's a whole nother thing to be healed. most important part is to heal yourself after you've come through out of that. Your friends are not really equipped to unpack your trauma like a therapist is. Friends are only there to kind of put band-aids on situations, but we always say, check on your people, check on your people, check on your people. You really can't check on somebody who doesn't let you know what's going on with them. That's why so many people are like, oh, I didn't know this person was feeling like this. I didn't know that they were that depressed. I didn't know. Yeah, you didn't know because they didn't let you in. They didn't tell you that. You know what I mean? Like, you probably will never know. Usually the way it goes is somebody does something and then it's like, oh, now I saw the signs. You can sometimes use patterns. Change of pattern could mean something. It could mean something. Oh, this person used to do this every single day. This person used to get up every morning and used to go outside and look at the birds. And for the past 3 months, this person hasn't been looking at the birds. This person's been getting up at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It could be something different like that. But I hate when people are like, check on your people. You can't check on somebody. Like, if you don't know what you're looking for, you just don't know, you know? Like my therapist always tells me, I can't help you if you don't tell me. And that's true for anybody. You know, if somebody doesn't tell you what they're going through, you will never know. I'm just a big advocate for therapy. It does help you. I get annoyed when I talk to certain people and I realize that they want to unload their stuff on me. I get so annoyed, for real. I don't want to talk about your trauma. I don't want to unpack your emotions. I don't want to carry that weight for you. Do you think that's wrong? I just don't want to do it. I don't want to process that. I think we have a lot. All of us are carrying our enough. All of us are carrying our own baggage, you know? You ever been through the airport? You ever carried your bags? I don't know about you, but I have a bad bag. You know what I mean? So sometimes carrying my own stuff is a lot. It's a lot. But what if I had to carry my stuff, somebody else's bags? That's a lot of weight. That's a lot of weight. And sometimes you're carrying all those bags and somebody ain't carrying nothing. So therapy helps you get that muscle, helps you build up those muscles, you know what I'm saying? The muscles in the mind so that you can carry your own weight. Is what I'm trying to say to you. That's exactly what I'm trying to say to you. You know what I mean? Stop putting your stuff on other people because everybody can't carry everything. And not everybody wants to. I hope that what I'm getting ready to say, you're able to receive this well. Okay? If you're having thoughts of harming yourself, you should definitely seek a mental health professional, like right now. You know, don't wait, you know. Make sure you reach out to somebody that can help you. And just because you are asking for help, it does not mean that you're broken. It does not mean that something is wrong with you. It does not mean that it doesn't have to be something that's embarrassing. I want to break this whole stigma of mental health being embarrassing, you know? I want to break the stigma of people feeling like something is wrong with you just because you need therapy. It's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. If you notice that you have a change in like your appetite or your sleeping habits have changed or your personal hygiene habits have changed, you know, you should probably schedule an appointment to see somebody. I know when I was working, one of the things that helped me was to Take small steps, do the small things, get out of bed, take a shower, eat, just reminding myself to do those things to make sure that I'm taking care of myself. And that's what I would say to you. Make sure you're eating, make sure you're getting fresh air. Make sure you try to find a hobby, something that you enjoy doing. Watering your plants, going for a walk is good. Trying to exercise is always a plus. I think it's so important that if you are going to talk to a friend, that you talk to a friend that you trust. But if you have a good friend that just so happens to be a coworker, keep in mind, whatever you share with that person, it could get out to other people. And that's why I emphasize, it's why it's so important to talk to an actual therapist, somebody that is trained for this, someone that you don't have to worry about your information getting out, someone who respects confidentiality, who has to adhere to it, One of the things that I wish that I would have done from me to you, and I'm just saying this is what I would have done. I'm not trying to be preachy or anything like that, because trust me, I hate when people preach to me. I'm just trying to figure out like how I can help you guys. I really wish that I would have gone to therapy like way before I really needed it. Like, I thought that I knew what therapy was about or what mental health was about because I was in that field. But it's one thing to actually have a therapist like actually helping you along your journey versus seeing a therapist help others on their journey. It's different, you know what I'm saying? There are different things that are going on. I had a session with my therapist the other day, and I'm smiling because he asked me how I was doing, number one, and then he asked me like how I was doing with aging, because I have a birthday coming up. So he wanted to know how I felt about that. So I'm getting ready to turn 49, almost 50, but not quite. 49. I can't even hardly say it. 49. What? But, I am grateful. At the time when I told him to be transparent with you guys, I told him that I'm doing okay. I was just like, You're talking to a person that thought they was going to be 25 forever, But I was like, I'm doing okay. And he was like, why this like feeling? What's going on? And I said, well, had I known that what I experienced in my mid to late 30s was going to be so stressful for me that once I finished all of that, I would really miss who I used to be. I would have taken more time to appreciate who and what I was at that time. I feel like I took myself for granted during that time. There was a whole phase of my life that I felt like I missed out on because I was so stressed out with this job. You know how people say, don't worry about this job. You can't worry about this job. Don't let these people get to you. Easier said than done. I mean, now that I'm on the other end of it, it's easier said than done. But when you're going through it, baby, you are all the way in survival mode. You're so hyper vigilant. You're just watching, scanning for threats all day. I couldn't even hardly get any work done some days because some days I was sitting at my computer going back and forth via email with my supervisor. She would send me an email about some stuff that she said that she had told me to do last week. And I would be like, I didn't get no email, da, 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 da. She would be lying. So I would have to combat that. I miss who I was or who I used to be. And now I'm this whole new person, right? Sometimes I don't wear my hair short because I used to wear my hair short during that time. Sometimes when I wear my hair short, it reminds me of who I used to be. But then I done added about 10, 15 pounds. And I'm like, nah, that can't be right. So I told my therapist that I miss who I used to be. He said, do you know the difference between why me and why not me? I said, yeah, I know the difference. You know, why me is like, you know, you're just kind of like complaining. You're like, why does this have to happen to me? Woe is me type person. And why not me is, you know what? It's okay. I can handle this. I can handle this. I had to adapt the mindset of why not me? Why not me? What if the trade-off was to go through all of that, to become this person I am now, to help somebody else? What if that's what it was? Then why not me? Like I said, I've said this before. I wish that there was YouTube back then, man. I wish that there were groups and women that were sharing their experiences, that were talking about this, you know, that were saying, hey, expect this. This is normal behavior. I was young and naive, and I did not know that this type of behavior was actually normal at work. And I was the one that was not normal because I did not conform to the standards of being a snake. See, when you don't conform to those types of standards, and then that's the environment that you're in, it's going to be harder for you. If you have a moral compass and you're around people that don't have a moral compass, it's going to be harder for you. It's going to be harder for you. I wish I had somebody to tell me that so that I could have prepared for that. I spent years of trying to make it make sense. I spent years of trying to just figure that part out. Just trying to figure out, or just trying to figure out if I was the one that was crazy. And a lot of times that's what drives you to the point of no return. Is when you constantly you're chasing your tail because it's too hard for you to believe what you see. I wish somebody would have came and told me. I wish somebody would have held my hand. And I wish somebody would have said, your work environment is toxic. It's truly toxic. I wish somebody would have said that. Instead, I had people that were telling me that we are one team, one mission. We are one team, one mission. We are all in this together. It's all great. What do you mean it's all great? Like, I don't feel like it's all great over here. Like, my supervisor has got her foot on my neck. And y'all literally saying that does not matter if it's abusive. See, I went into this environment assuming that adults would play by the rules of being respectful towards one another. Baby, I had no idea. I have no idea that it was as trifling as it was. I had no idea. The way they team up with each other to come up with lies to get you to try to quit, to make you feel like you're going crazy. It was me and another girl that, we worked together. We were in the same department together, right? We had the same job title and everything, right? They treated us different. She was younger than me. So I had to do more work. She got to do less work. Same job titles, you know what I'm saying? But she had to do less work, me more work. With her, she was allowed to hang around like the warden, and she was allowed to just kind of come and go as she pleased and everything like that. But with me, I had to adhere to the rules. I couldn't be 5 minutes late. I couldn't miss a beat, or there would be repercussions. You know what I mean? We were training this particular day, and she was teaching CPR. And I said to somebody, I said, oh my gosh, I got to go. I'm going to go in her line. I don't have a choice. Like, all the lines are full. I got to go in her line. I got to do the CPR test, right? And I said, but watch, it's going to be a problem now because I'm telling you, I'm not crazy. I'm Pisces, so I'm a little intuitive, so I know what I'm talking about. I said, but watch, it's going to be a problem, right? So, and she said this. She was like, this is what she said. If I don't feel like you're doing it right, I'm going to make you do it again. That's what she said to everybody. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go in her line. I'm going to do the chest compressions and all the CPR stuff, right? So that's what I did. Chest compressions, 2 breaths, all that kind of stuff. I did everything that I was supposed to do. You know what she said? Do it again. Do it again. Go back to the back of the line. You're going to have to do it again. I said, I'm not doing shit again. I'm not doing this shit again. It got like that, right? You know what I'm saying? So she going to call herself trying to write me up, right? She tried to write me up. Then she tried to get one of her sorority sisters to co-sign with her, right? Because, she was a Delta. So she was like, she wanted old girl to also write something saying that I didn't go back there to the back of the line and do it again or whatever. They were going to write this up and give it to the warden, right? So the reason why I know this is because the other girl pulled me to the side and said, hey, she wanted me to write up something saying that that you didn't pass CPR and that you weren't going to, that she told you to go to the back of the line and redo it again and you refused to do so. And the lady said, I told her, I'm not writing that. I'm not writing that. Actually, you're lying is what you're doing. You're lying on her because she did pass. She did a good job. She did fine. I see now, you're the problem. All this time you sitting here talking about, she's the one that's all difficult, this and the other, da-da-da. When you over here trying to set her up. When the girl told me that, she apologized to me. She said, I'm sorry for just assuming something about you that wasn't true. She said, I never would have thought that old girl would be that petty, that she would do what she did to try to get somebody in trouble, to lie on somebody. And I said, you know what? I just said, thank you so much because, yeah, this is what I deal with when I deal with her. I not only had to deal with a difficult supervisor, I had to deal with difficult staff in my department, difficult women. And then on top of that, I had to deal with inmates. That's a whole nother level to it. But I'm just talking about dealing with these staff members. And the thing about it, I always hear people talk about how pretty girls have a hard time on their jobs and, people always hate on pretty women in the work field. I never considered myself to be the prettiest one in the group, I know I ain't ugly. I know I'm cute, you know what I'm saying? Back in my 20s and stuff, I used to be the girl. In my 30s, I was that girl, But this woman was also pretty. So what I didn't understand about it was like, why isn't there enough room for everybody? Like, why do women have to be like that towards each other? Why does there always have to be competition? Why is there always this insecurity? That's why I stress the importance of therapy. Because you need to really, and you have to really be honest with your therapist, when you go talk to your therapist and stuff like that. And unpack some of this stuff that you might be carrying from like childhood, high school, all of that. Because you never know, you might be carrying that into the workforce. You might not intentionally mean to be a villain, but you may be coming across as a villain. And I don't know what that was all about, but all I know is that I wish that I would have had YouTube a long time ago where I could tune in and listen to women talk about their experiences so that I could at least know that I'm not crazy and I'm not out here by myself. I feel like I talked enough. But yeah, anyways, If you can relate, let me know down in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in another video real soon. Bye.